In this video, we're going to look at doing division and then having an answer with a decimal in it. I'm going to start with a really simple example. If we say, for example, there are 3 cookies and we want to split them between 2 children. So if we think about our regular division, we say, okay, how many times can we take 2 out of 3? Obviously only once. 1 times 2 is 2, minus equals 1. So traditionally we would have said remainder 1. But if these 2 kids get to eat all 3 cookies, they're going to want to do something with this last one, not just throw it out. I'm pretty sure you can probably visualize that it would make sense 2 kids splitting 3 cookies, you each get 1.5. But this is just a simple example showing us with how we do it with the decimals with our long division algorithm. So instead of saying remainder 1, we're going to remember that our invisible decimal on the whole number 3 always comes just to the right of it, right after. So I'm going to put that in there in a nice bright green for us. Here is our decimal. Oops, right there. So we can then say, okay, I am going to add a 0 after that decimal. Because as we've talked about when we looked at decimal numbers, adding those extra zeros on the end here doesn't actually change the number. This is still whole number 3. We just have 3.0. I'm going to bring down that 0. Now I'm going to continue with my division. How many times can I take 2 out of 10? Obviously the answer is 5. Notice my placement. I had the 1 over the 3. The 5 goes over that 0. It's very important that you keep that placement or it will mess up your answer. Continuing with our steps, we did our division. Next we multiply. 5 times 2 is 10. Subtract. 10 minus 10 is 0. So the last thing we have to say, okay, well, obviously each kid is not going to get 15 cookies. I think you know each kid's going to get 1.5. So it's important that in division we bring that decimal place directly up. That is where it's important that we keep our numbers in the right places over the right numbers. So for example, I'm taking 2 out of 3 once, so the 1 has to go over the 3. When I was talking about taking 2 out of 10, it was 5 times. The 5 going over that 0 that made the 10. Let's do this with some more complicated examples next. So in this example, it says divide. Give the exact answer written as a decimal. So again, no remainders. We're going to make sure we have completely answered the question with a decimal answer. So regular division, how many times can I take 5 out of 5? 1. 1 times 5 is 5, minus is 0. Bring down the 1. How many times can I take 5 out of 1? 0 times. 0 times 5 is 0, minus equals 1. Bring down the 2. How many times can I take 5 out of 12? 2 times. 2 times 5 is 10, minus equals 2. Now this is where we change a little bit. Rather than doing remainder 2, we put our invisible decimal after whole number, 512. I'm going to extend that sort of line there for our answer on top. So I'm going to put a 0, bring down the 0. I can actually put my decimal in my answer right now, just so I don't forget to do that after. Okay, so now I'm asking myself, how many times can I take 5 out of 20? 4 times. 4 times 5 is 20, minus is 0. So our answer, 512 divided by 5, is 102.4. This last example says divide, give the exact answer written as a decimal, 3,470 divided by 50. So I've rewritten it over here, and I'll go through with the math. So first step, how many times can I take 50 out of 3? 0 times. I'm going to even skip that. I'm going to say 34. How many times can I take 50 out of 34? 0 times. Notice because I was talking about the 34, I'm putting the 0 right above that 34. 0 times 50 is 0, minus equals 34. I could have just jumped, I guess, to the 347. How many times can I take 50 out of 347? So let's see. 2 50s is 100. So 6 times 50. 6 times 50 would be 300. So that'll be as many as I can. So I'll put a 6 up here over the 7. 6 times 50 is 300. Minus equals 47. Bring down the 0. How many 50s can I take out of 470? So 8 times 50. 8 times 50 is 400. So 9 times 50 would be 450. 50, so 9 is going to be my maximum there. 9 times 50, 400. 50 minus equals 20. Decimal, decimal, 0. Bring down the 0. How many times can I take 50 out of 200? 50, 100, 150, 200, 4 times. 4 on top. 4 times 50 is 200. Minus equals 0. That's it. Good luck with this section.